All right, Dr. Raker, good to have you on again this week.
Nice to be back.
Can you kindly tell us what an HMA is and how it can benefit you?
Yeah, sure. So let's compare it to what most people may be more familiar with is a HSA, a health savings account. So a health savings account is you have to have insurance to have a health savings account. That's the first difference between the two. If you have insurance and you have a health savings account, you can place money into your health savings account it's pre-tax dollars, meaning the money you put in there is not counted as taxable income, so it saves you some interest or some tax money by the federal government. So an HMA is a little bit of a different idea here. It's a bank account. Instead of an HSA being an insurance account, an HMA, health matching account, is a bank account. Now, the first difference is you can own an HMA even if you're uninsured. So anyone can go have an HMA. And that helps because a lot of people, one of the problems is when you're uninsured, it's hard to save money, it's hard to get money, it's hard to pay money for medical bills. And an HMA is the perfect vehicle to do that, even if you don't have insurance. But it does work even if you have insurance, and especially if you have insurance where you have a large deductible, a lot of co-pays, or maybe restrictive insurance that doesn't pay for a lot of things. The HMA you can put money into and it will pay all those things, your deductible, your copay, for medicines. It'll pay for things that your insurance doesn't pay for, like LASIK eye surgery or plastic surgery, stem cells for arms and knees, for shoulders. So it pays for everything that's medical, dental, chiropractic, optometric for your eyes. It covers all those things. So
Oh, wow.
that's one of the two big differences. Is an HMA can be used by anyone, whereas an HSA can only be used by an insured person. Now, another big difference is that unlike the HSA where you put money into it and it saves you a little bit of tax money, the HMA is built to where as you put money in, the bank starts matching money to it. And it's built on a 36-month platform. So as you put money in and add money to it each of the months for 36 months, the bank is continually adding money. And they've kind of devised this in a very clever way. It's not a dollar for dollar match. It's going to be the first month, they match 10% of what you put in. The second month, they match 20%. The third month, 30%. And it just climbs every month. And here's where it gets kind of crazy. When you get up to, say, the 32nd month, they're matching 320%. So as you put money in, it starts to grow, but it really takes off and starts to grow big into that second and third year. So technically, if you look at the way the plans are set up for the smaller plans that are under $10,000, they will not quite double your money in 36 months. But at the $10,000 mark, it literally doubles your money. You end up putting in $4,900. The bank ends up putting in $5,100 tax free. And from the plans that go up, it more than doubles your money. If you're such that you can afford, the biggest plan they have is called a $60,000 plan. And on that plan, you pay $725 a month for 36 months. In that time frame, you will have put in a little over $25,000. But the bank will have added $35,000 tax free. So
It's a lot of money.
more than doubling your money in
Yeah.
36 months. And it's a bank, so it's guaranteed. It's not playing the stock market. It doesn't go up and down. It does exactly what you put into it and according to the fee schedule. So it's not like, trying to buy Bitcoin and hoping that it goes up, or trying to play the stock market. This is a
Mhm.
guaranteed thing by a bank. And the bank is FDI insured. So, like
FDIC, yeah.
we had the recent bank failure out in Silicon Valley, but the most you can have, the most money that you can put into this is $25,000. And with their money, the most you can have in the account is $60,000. That's covered. I think the FDI insurance is for $100,000. So you can never lose your money. Even if the bank failed, you would have your money.
So anybody can get this, any sort of condition, all walks of life, pre-existing conditions, and there's no way that anyone can be blocked from using this, and you can share this with other family members in your household, or
That's
your
exact.
children.
Yeah, that's exactly true. There is no pre-existing. This is literally a bank account that you're saving money in, not health insurance. That's where there's not all those pre-qualifications or pre-existing
Right.
doesn't come into play.
And this comes to you in a Visa card by mail.
It does. When you set up your account and start funding it, a Visa card, a Visa debit card comes. And whenever you go to the doctor, the optometrist, the chiropractor, the dentist, you just swipe your card. It's literally like just paying for your card, your services with a
Mhm.
Visa debit card.
And you can check this online, I'm assuming, like when you're paying your medical expense, like with an app or something like that to find out what's left in your account over time, I would assume.
Yes, you can check it real time to see how much money you've got in your account. You'll be able to see past expenditures. You'll see how much you're putting in each month and how much they're adding to it. So very easy. And there's no, a lot of people ask me, well, do I have to save the money for 3 years before I can start using it?
No,
No,
it's instant.
it's instant. When you put your money in today,
Hmm.
it might take a day or two to clear, the transaction of the bank, but within 2 days, 3 days, whatever money you've put in, you can use on your Visa card and take back out to use for healthcare. You haven't made any money with it, but it's available to you. So people are like, I don't know, I want to be my liquid, my money liquid. I want to be able to use it.
Right.
Literally, if you've got $100 in your pocket and you're going to go to the doctor in a month and you're going to pay him that $100, you can take that $100, put it in your bank account, let the bank add 10% to it.
At least
Or
you're beating the taxes usually.
yeah. So, uh, and especially as this starts adding up, it goes crazy. On the sixth month, they're putting in 60% of what you're putting in. So if you put in $100, they're putting in 60 more dollars, and
Right.
that's tax-free money that you can use immediately. Once they put it in there, it's available to use at any doctor or medical provider of any kind.
And we had talked about this before, that this would be an excellent way. Say that you're an over the road truck driver and you want to get a DOT exam, like they're like about 90, $100 depending on where you go. And you can use this as a truck driver, use your card, go to the doctor's office. Hey, I'm here for a day to do a DOT physical. And you just use that. And that's money that you have saved that, eventually it's going to be, 100%. And you can still use that as a tax write-off for operating your business if you're an owner operator.
That's true. The money that you put into it, because it's going towards healthcare, is a write-off, is a business expense.
Mm-hmm.
And as the bank's adding money, that's what's really cool about this is, you know, if you're a truck driver, your physical, your drug screens, your alcohol test, your consortium fees, if you have to pay those are just expenses off of your bottom line. Insurance does not pay for those. Whereas you can put your money into this and take the extra free money that the bank's putting in there, and it will pay for your DOT physicals, alcohol, drug screens, consortium fees. So literally, those fees could go away. You'd never have to pay them again the rest of your life as a driver. It would be free based on the free money that you get on your healthcare bank account.
Consortium fees. We were talking about this, Mr. Dr. David Wade and I were talking about consortium fees, and that's a lot of work if you're getting ready to start a consortium. But using this to take care of your drivers, I'm assuming if you're an owner operator or if you're owning a business as well, this is a good way to cover your drivers as a business. So
Yeah,
how can a
there's
business benefit from this?
exactly. And there's a way, if you incorporate this, let's say that you're a business owner and you bought health insurance for your drivers. Let's say you wanted to help them not have, nobody wants to buy insurance that has a $10,000 deductible, because that really doesn't help anybody if they have
It's
to pay
not profitable.
$10,000. It's not easy to work with your employees. They don't like it. Um, but what you can do with this is you can buy these HMAs and start funding them for your employees, and you get the business credit for funding the money. And then you can raise your deductibles up and pay a cheaper price for the insurance because you already have the money in place for them to use instead of the deductible. So it's almost like you're giving them a benefit. And the nice part is you're only doing half the benefit. The bank is putting in the other money. So you could literally put a $5,000 deductible in place, but have a $5,000 HMA where you've only put in like $2,500. The bank has put in the other $2,500, so it only costs you 25, but they're getting that extra money to use to pad that deductible. And it makes for a good benefit and a happy bunch of employees. And you can now use these, all that money that you were paying for DOT physicals, drug screens, alcohol consortium fees, you can now use their cards to pay for that. So it moves it from an expense to now you're putting in a healthcare dollar that you're getting a business expense, but you're getting the free money to pay for all that other stuff. So it literally takes all the occupational expenditures off your books.
Dr. Raker, how can an HMA benefit your family? Like, how can an HMA help your family in times of need if you need to use it for your family for whatever reason?
These things are great because you can buy an HMA and fund it, and to put your spouse on it like costs you very little, like $5 or $10 extra a month. Same thing with kids. They add a little fee on there, but now you can all use the group pooled money, which
Mhm.
works very efficiently for a family that has, especially kids that are getting sick, going back into the doctor, the wife, you have a tooth problem. I mean, it just all conglomerates in, but you can use an HMA for the whole family if you set everybody up on there. It's very flexible. And here's this thing is so flexible, and it has a couple other perks that we haven't even mentioned. Number one, let's say you're funding your HMA and you lost your job or had to take a job somewhere else, you weren't making as much money. You can downgrade your HMA every month. You can change. Maybe you want to make it bigger, maybe you want to make it smaller, but you can change that every month. Super flexible. So maybe you're on the $10,000 plan where you're trying to save up to where they're putting in money and you're getting 10,000, but all of a sudden you can't make that payment and you want to go down to the 5,000. You just notify them and it changes and you get the lesser payment and you keep funding it that way and they keep funding it their way. And then maybe this new job comes along and now all of a sudden you want to try and get the $20,000 one. So you move it up and you fund more into it and they fund more into it. Super flexible. You can change it every month.
So
Couple,
this would be better than actual insurance in a matter of speaking, right? Or
well,
are the pros and
it's
cons to it?
not, it doesn't replace, because you got to remember you've got a maximum amount of dollars in your account here. If you got hit by a bus and was in the hospital for 3 weeks, you only got a $10,000 policy in the HMA and you've only got it funded halfway up. That $5,000 is not going to cover you for a week in the hospital.
Okay.
But it does fill in it. If you bought catastrophic insurance, which has a really high deductible for that catastrophe, it's
Mhm.
cheaper insurance. And then you have one of these for filling in that gap in the bottom where anything up to $10,000 is on you. You use this to fill it in, get your $10,000 filled up, maybe even then buy you a $20,000 one so you even got a little extra pad. Maybe you got 3 kids, 4 kids, you need a little more. But these things are flexible and you can use them in that interim below what your insurance kicks in to fill in all those gaps and all the things that insurance doesn't pay for.
Mhm.
It has a couple other perks that we didn't still talk about. One of them, we talked about the flexibility. Number two, it has a telemedicine visit that is $0. It's absolutely free to do telemedicine visits.
So that was a big thing during COVID. Like if you
Big
needed
thing,
a
big thing during
teleconference.
COVID, and really still that's going to hang around. The medical profession and everybody that was involved liked doing televisits for kind of minor things. It made it easier for some people that were kind of homebound. So televisits are going to be around to stay, and this pays for them. And I think, as far as I know, it's going to stay at $0. The other benefit is that it actually has a cash discount plan. So you don't have insurance, has a cash discount plan for buying your medicine and prescriptions, where normally if the price is $30 with this plan, it may only be $10. It
Not
has a
bad.
discount plan. Yeah, so it helps in every way from medicine to filling in the gaps if you have insurance for deductibles, copays, or things it doesn't pay for, or if you have no insurance, you can at least get a little peace of mind. If you had $5,000 or $10,000 built up in your HMA, half of it was given to you free by the bank. I mean, who doesn't like having an extra $2,500 free or $5,000 free that you can use for healthcare expenditures?
Agreed.
So these things are nice. They're flexible. I love these for for really everybody. I mean, truck drivers can use these, but really, I can't think of a single person. I even have patients that have a very basic, like Obamacare, affordable care, health insurance, where their deductible is zero and the copay is zero. So you think, well, they get everything for free. Well, guess what? It's not all for free because there are certain things that the insurance won't cover. And if they want it, they've got to pay money out of their pocket. This
Right.
would kick in for that. And there's certain things that it pays maybe 20 visits to the doctor, but then after that, nothing. Again, this is where your HMA can kick in and pick up that. So they're so nicely affordable. I mean, the smallest one is the $2,500 one. It's $40 a month. And remember, once you get it completely full in 3 years, if you don't use it, you don't have to put any more money into it. It just sits there. It doesn't cost you anything until you use it.
Now,
And
let me ask you this real quick. Can you have more than one HMA?
yes and no. Like I can have one and my wife can have one if I don't have my wife on mine.
Ah, okay.
So individual people can have individual HMAs, but if you put them together and put your wife on it, and I'll have to double check, you might be able to have two as long as you don't aggregately go above that $60,000 maximum policy. So if I had a $10,000 one and had my wife on it, but her business that she worked with was offering these, she could get another one as long as my 10 and hers didn't add up to more than 60. I think they will let you do that. But
Okay.
the $60,000 plan is the most you can have.
All right. So if anyone wants to find out more information about the HMA, how can they contact you?
That is a great question. There's a website that I need to go get, and you can probably type it up here later and put it on the video. I'll double check this. I think it's www.myhealthmatching.com.
Okay.